Hi, welcome to my new video series. This is the Confident Inspirational Women Across the Globe video series. I am very happy to introduce my guest today who's visiting us from Colorado. This is Madelyn Moon. And this video series is all about empowering women. So I created this series because I wanted to really showcase confident, inspirational women. There's kind of a stigma about confident women not being compassionate and warm and showing the full human face. So I wanted to show women in their full power and to show their amazing inspirational stories. So a little bit about me before we begin. I am the founder of The Dancing Curtain. It's a business that's based in Ridgefield, Connecticut, and I am a confidence and visibility coach for entrepreneurs. I help them to boost their confidence, to show up big in the world, and to grow their visibility. So I'm very happy to introduce this new series and to empower women and to encourage people to be their authentic true self and to live a life beyond their wildest dreams. So now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Madelyn. Hi, Madelyn. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
Good. How's everything in Colorado? I heard you just did some moving.
It's great. I'm so happy to be back. I've been in Asia the past 3 months.
Wow, that's amazing.
So yeah, I'm excited to be back home. It's nice.
Oh, good. It's back home. Okay, great. Yeah. Well, we're happy to have you back in the States and to be on this interview series. So I will go ahead and read your bio so everyone can know a little bit more about you, those who are not familiar with you. So after hiding behind fear, perfection, and risk aversion for many years, Maddie knows what it's like to play small, downplay your own existence, and only hope that one day it will all be worth it. Today, Maddie's mission is to help you realize the heart-pounding fact that you've only been gifted one life, and every day you're faced with a choice to either make the most of it, unapologetically, or fight against who you're really meant to be. Her work and her story have been featured in the Huffington Post, Teen Vogue, the Daily Mail, Vice, and ABC News Nightline. Maddie is the host of a top-ranked podcast, Mind Body Musings, and she is also a freedom mindset coach and an author. And she can be found passionately exclaiming her love for taking life by its golden, glittery reins on her online space, maddymoon.com. Okay, well, we are so happy to have you on this video series. I know I am. And I wanted to hear a little bit about your story, about your inspirational story. So could you start us off there?
Yes. So my story goes back all the way till probably about, well, the juicy stuff, probably about middle school, when I started to realize that there's a difference in the way I was treated because of my body and the way other people were treated. And I started to really focus on my body as a means for coping with life stressors around high school, when I felt like I was the nerdy kid in high school, which I totally was. Now I definitely embrace that. But back then, I felt like I was less than all the popular girls, and I felt so much stress with boys, and just my home life was wonderful, but still with being a teen, it just is hard. It's hard growing up. Yeah. And I took out a lot of anger and frustration on myself, and I turned to my body and my weight and how I ate to cope with all the stresses I was dealing with, the drama. It's enough. Okay. You there?
You paused for a second. Sorry, I just want to make sure we got you. We got you now. You're back.
Yeah, great. So basically, I just really took it out of my body. I started to work out obsessively. I would eat less calories than I would be burning off. I became vegetarian and vegan and this and that. And it just progressively got worse until I got into college when I started bodybuilding. And then bodybuilding was a way for me to just make myself smaller and smaller and smaller. And as I focused more of my attention on my body, this trivial thing, right? I mean, it's a tangible piece of skin. It's just a meat suit we're walking around in. I was focusing on perfecting this thing, hoping that the world will tell me I'm perfect. And once I'm perfect, once I get there, then I'll be there forever. I'll live there. I'll always be in the land of Perfectionville. I'll stay there and all will be good.
Wouldn't that be great?
What was really happening is I was putting away all the potential that I could have with my life to create something, to be a good friend, to be a good daughter, to go after that scholarship, or to push myself to write that book. I always loved writing fiction. So I put away everything for the sake of my body. Eventually, long story short, years of doing this, I realized that I will continue to be a slave to my body as long as I let myself be a slave to my body. I needed to change my life. I needed to change my mind. I needed to change my mindset. Yes. So I went on this whole journey. From there of just letting go of my dieting, my obsessive dieting. I recovered from an eating disorder I had called orthorexia, which is an obsession with healthy eating. I started my podcast, so I started to share my journey on there of being a fitness competitor, getting out of that, finding true self-worth. And then from there, I became a coach and then an author of this topic and a speaker and writing for, being featured in, like you were saying, Teen Vogue. And it's just such a beautiful place I'm at. And I no longer really focus on the body image aspect. I focus much more about the mindset aspect and how, because that's really where the main work was done. Everyone thinks if you have body problems, focus on the body problems. Like hire a coach to help you with your food and help you with, letting go of the gym. But in all honesty, the work I do with my clients rarely has anything to do with food or body. It has everything to do with that relationship with their husband that they're not really feeding into, or the fact that they're a 45-year-old mom and their kids have gone to college and they're just bored. Or they have so much financial stress, or they can't stop hearing their parents critiquing them in their mind and it's controlling their every move. Like, that's the stuff that turns people over to coping mechanisms such as drugs, body image, eating disorders, addiction, all those different things. So that's where my heart really is now, is to help women change their minds, manifest what they really want, and stop fearing rejection and stop being afraid of taking risks with their life.
Wonderful. And how did you get there? How did you make that transition from being all about your body and trying to get that perfect image and then to being conscious of the mind and how powerful that is and the whole mind-body-spirit relationship?
That's such a good question. It was a very long process. It didn't happen in a year. I can't say it didn't happen overnight. It didn't even happen in a year. It's still something that I'm progressively working towards every single day. It's a practice. But I did have an aha moment after my second bodybuilding show where I just realized that none of it was worth it. Like, I had spent months and months and months of training and obsessing and saying no to birthday parties, losing my period, staying inside every Friday night, just obsessively walking around in my high heels, practicing my poses, trying to be friends with other bodybuilders and asking them their secrets, and just being told, you're not enough, Maddie, you're not enough, you got to work on your belly, you got to work on this, you got to work on that. And I just started to realize I was feeding off of that. I wanted people to tell me what was wrong with me because it was a distraction with being okay with what was right with me. That was actually scarier. It was much easier to face the things I needed to change than to accept and be content with the things I had. And I realized all of this, and I just started to tell myself that I needed to change my mind. I needed to get into a different place. I physically needed to move myself. So I moved from where I was living in Texas to in Colorado. Not everyone has to do that, but it really was great for me to start fresh, make new friends. I stopped introducing myself as, hey, I'm Madelyn. I'm a nutritionist and a health coach, and I compete in bodybuilding shows. I let that go. I let go of the labels, because in my own mind, I kept seeing myself as that. So I had to start speaking differently. I had to start telling people, I'm Madelyn. That's it. I'm Madelyn.
I love that.
There's no connotations. There's no this. There's no that. It's just me.
You're you.
And I'm just me. And there's no pressure to be this or that or have a label.
And that's enough, right? It's enough to be yourself.
It was enough. It was so freeing to be able to do that. And I think a lot of people, one of the biggest struggles is that they identify with something. They say, I am this, I am that, and they can't move past it because they keep saying this. But even beyond that, once they start realizing, okay, I say I am, I don't know, I am, let's just stick with the same kind of theme. I am a fitness model. They have to break through that, let go of that. But then there's a whole new challenge, because then you become, okay, I'm me, but I have the past of being an ex-fitness model. And then you still bring that along with you everywhere you go, right? And so that's what I was doing for a long time, is I wanted to be almost like a martyr for the cause. Like, I wanted to constantly talk about bodybuilding and food recovery, because I felt like I was inspiring people to move past that. But at the same time, always
Little frozen for
My
sure.
mind,
Sorry.
my mind was always wrapped around those things. And I finally had to just let go of all of it. Let go of the past of being that girl, and not having to feel like I have to continuously talk about these things, which is why I was saying I'm kind of changing my message these days to not so much talk about the body image, to now talk about what can you do with your life now that you've moved on. There's more to life than this. There's more to life than just your past and rehashing things. You can actually move forward and create something new and let go of all those things that don't serve you.
Right, right. This is great. This is really good information you're giving. I think it's very inspirational to women. And I can tell with my personal experience, I had a chronic illness for 15 years. And I think what helped me so much is just like you're describing, was changing my mindset and also not labeling myself. Because I think so many people, once they get sick and they get chronic illness and they label themselves, oh, I've got cancer, oh, I've got fibromyalgia, oh, I've got this, I've got that, and then they can't see past that. So I think those are very great tips that you're giving. And I want to ask you your advice for those who are, kind of not where you are, but are still struggling to find their authenticity. How do you suggest they go about to really claiming their power and their authenticity?
It definitely starts with letting go of what is no longer serving you. There are so many things you can start adding into your life. Say you don't, this is a huge problem. And let's just put it out there on the table. A lot of people don't know what their dreams are. They don't know it. They don't know what authenticity means. That's confusing. Yes. Because they've been living according to the world's standards for so long. Yes. They've been living according to society standards of what it means to be a good mother, what it means to be a bride, what it means to be a man, what it means to be feminine, what it means to be masculine, all these different things that they don't know what authenticity is. And they've been so focused on checking off the boxes of having the perfect house, having the corporate job, having this much money in your bank account, that they don't know what they truly want. They've been so obsessive over these things. Like me, I was so obsessive over having the perfect body. When it came time to recovering and to changing my life, I had no idea who I even was. I had no idea what I liked. I didn't even know what kind of movies I liked anymore. Did I even like to read? Do I still write? I didn't know any of these things. And so everyone's walking around talking about unleashing their dreams and doing this and that. And I'm like, I don't even know what dreams I have. So the first thing I did was let go of what was no longer serving me. And that includes people, that includes habits, that includes thoughts. So for my thoughts, I'd have to let go of I'm this, I am that, I'm not good enough, this needs to be worked on. And I'd start changing my thoughts. And I would start to do body scans in the morning. And I would start with my toes and say, I'm so grateful for my toes holding me upright. So grateful for my ankles for connecting my amazing feet that get me anywhere to my calves and then just go all the way up to my knees, to my thighs, every ounce of my thighs. And that really started to reprogram my mind, actually putting on gratitude to the thing that I hated. And really just being grateful for it because I have it. How cool is that we even have bodies to get around?
Don't take anything for granted. Absolutely.
It's amazing. And then I let go of, Facebook accounts and social media accounts that I was following that weren't serving me, that put me in a mental bad space. Let go of people in my life that were bringing me down. And so for me to be able to find what it means to be authentic to myself, I have to tap in now even, every single day on a moment-to-moment basis. How does this feel to me? Does this feel right? Am I on this date and this guy's about to kiss me, but I don't really want him to kiss me? Am I just going to let him kiss me because am I going to feel too awkward if I say no? A girl says something mean to me, am I just going to take it? Or am I going to stand up for my truth and say, hey, that doesn't feel right. I don't feel heard right now. Or am I just going to sit back and apologize for my existence? I think that a lot of women, we get in this habit of saying, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I made a sound. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm sorry.
My bad. It's
my
me.
bad.
I'm sorry.
So many sorries, and it's just sorry for everything. And that's another thing I had to stop doing, is apologizing for who I am. And even those little things, just little tiny things like walking in front of someone on accident in a busy on a busy street. Oh, I'm sorry. Like, just get up, maybe just move to the side and not have to say, I'm sorry for every single thing that you do.
Yeah.
So stop apologizing for yourself. Be authentic by letting go is no longer serving you and find the things that do. Be open to exploring. Go write a list of stuff you want to try out if that helps you and see how it feels for you. And if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Stop doing it. If you're eating the best salads in the whole world every day for lunch, but you hate them, they're not serving you, okay? They're not serving you anymore. So let go of those things, because every time you choose to say no to something that is no longer serving you, you're saying yes to something that might. And it is processed like this. It's not like this. Nothing's like this. It's like this. So you may start doing things that don't really feel right for you, but good for you for noticing. Good for you for being able to say, that doesn't sit right. This date doesn't sit right. This person doesn't sit right. This job doesn't sit right. You're starting to tap into your body, and that's a gift to be able to even see, because some people can just walk around their whole lives and never know what being authentic really means to them, because they're just playing by the book. They're just doing what they've been told, and they're not challenging the beliefs that have been passed down to them about who they are.
Great. Let's talk a little bit more about confidence, and I also really want to hear about your story traveling. So let's talk about confidence, let's talk about passions, let's talk about freedom. Let's start with your trip first. So how did that trip affect you? What lessons did you learn? Did you build confidence? Did you always want to go traveling? Tell us.
Well, I will say I've always been a very go-getter kind of person. Like, I don't really care if I do anything alone. Like my last year of high school, I just skipped it all. And I went straight to college. And then when I decided I wanted a different college, I just applied and I went to it immediately. Didn't know a single soul. Then when I came to Colorado, I didn't know a single soul. I'm very much I'm going to do what feels right to me, regardless of other people come. So for me, traveling, it was something I felt called to do for a while. I went to Thailand for 2 weeks in March, got a little taste of it, came back home. Really, me and my boyfriend at the time really recognized I was really wanting traveling. He really wanted to settle down. He's older than me, and we just had other things that were not working. So we broke up, and I moved out, and I booked a one-way ticket back to Asia to I was so excited. Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, and then Indonesia to go to Bali. And I had no fears. Everyone else around me seemed really scared. But I had no fears, and I was thinking, like, I've been before. I was just there. I get a little bit of it. We'll see. And I can certainly say that I am a different person. Even after 3 months of traveling, like 3 months can do that. I am different in certain ways.
So how did it affect you? What changed you? Was it being joyful, being free, being spontaneous, the freedom?
You know what I think it might come down to? I was talking about this with my mom. Well, first of all, so don't forget assertiveness. You have to be very assertive there. When you say no, it's no. And whenever someone is just getting in your way, you got to make sure that they know it's not okay. Assertiveness. But I would say I got really
you're frozen for
a second. Did you hear that one?
No, you got comfortable what?
Okay. With limbo. So being in between, my entire trip felt like limbo. I was never really living anywhere. I never really had a routine. I tried, but I didn't know who was going to be a friend that I would meet that would be a friend I'd see again later the week, or if they were traveling and on their way. So I had to be fine with having one conversation with someone and knowing I'd never see them again, or passing through a city and doing the most I could, but not knowing if I'd be back or not seeing it all, living in a hotel, having really disgusting bathrooms and showers, and dealing with, situations I had just so many different things I had to deal with. Just like going to the bathroom was just terrible, and I had bug bites all over my body all the time. And
But you pushed through no matter what. You decided to keep on going and to stay there.
Even amidst those things, I was learning so much. I had like this adrenaline of just like, this is exciting. I'm like living in a country where I don't know anyone, and I'm finding my way around. I have to drink water by carrying these jugs down a dirt road to the water station 4 times a week. and carrying it back and like having to walk to go find my food every time because I had no kitchen. Like all these things I had to learn gave me a lot more of appreciation for coming home and having a kitchen right here and comfortable bed right there. But I met so many amazing people in Asia. I really enjoyed learning how to let go. That was my main takeaway, is just learning how to let go. Like before my trip, I'd be like, okay, I have to plan. When am I going to get on the train? What time am I going to train? How am I going to get on the taxi? How am I going to get on this plane? How am I going to meet people? Where am I going to eat? And then by the end of the trip, everything was spontaneous. Everything was, I'll get a cab when I get a cab when I need to go somewhere. I'll eat somewhere that looks okay. Like I didn't have to plan everything. And coming home, I've learned how to do that. And I'm trying to make sure I do that by not stressing out about bills and looking at bills and being grateful for them instead, and not getting stressed about getting places. Like, because in the moment, you always can make a decision. Whenever that moment comes, why would you stress weeks in advance and create anxiety about how you're going to get from point A to B, or how you're going to find food, or where's the closest this or that, when you can just decide that and find that out in that moment? Like, you really can just wait until that moment. It's not procrastination. It's just being spontaneous.
Present. Yeah, being in the moment.
Present.
Yeah,
yes.
Wonderful. Exactly. We're almost out of time, so I just want to ask one more question, since a lot of people who are going to be watching this video are female entrepreneurs. Can you give them some advice about showing up big in the world and following their dreams? How important is that?
Wow, I would probably say, what do you struggle with? Because that's your strength. If you want to be an entrepreneur, it depends on what kind of entrepreneur you are. If you're an entrepreneur that makes candles, it might be different, even though you can still share your story. But if it's a product, it might be different. But for me, and the people that I follow, if you want to be an entrepreneur that really has a loud voice, what are your struggles? Share those. Because out of that, people will resonate with you so much. Just being vulnerable, being open. I think that's the sexiest thing a woman can have, is just being vulnerable and open and share it loudly. Because you have to face a lot of people who won't agree. People will tell you and write you emails, and I just got some yesterday of just hate emails, and it hurts and it's sad that happened. But at the same time, that's how I know I'm doing something right, because I'm hitting a point in someone else's life that I know they need to hear, and they need to know they're not alone.
Yeah, wonderful, great. Is there anything else you'd like people to know about your coaching, about how important mindset is? I know you have a retreat coming up, if you want to mention that.
Yes, anything. So I have a retreat coming up September 29th to October 2nd. I'm taking 8 women. As of right now, I have 3 spots left. So by the time this airs, I may still have some open. So you can go to my website, go to the coaching tab. There's a whole application section for the retreat, as well as my one-on-one coaching. I do that as well. I'm currently taking on 4 new one-on-one coaching clients. I work with them for 6 months at a time.
And this is all about their mindset, building a healthy mindset, correct?
Yes. It's all about mindset, life, goals, just progressing as a human being. It's not for someone who's just in the darkest of days. You can be in the lightest and brightest of days, but you can still go to that next level with your mindset. Always just being coached, being there for those people. That's what I do. And I have a free course on my website. It's all about discovering your greatness, surrendering to your greatness, and making your goals and dreams come true. That's absolutely free. And you can find that on...
time?
Huh?
You want to share your website address?
Yes, maddymoon.com, M-A-D-D-Y, and the moon, like the moon.
Like tonight, full moon.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and what about your social media handles? You want to give those out as well?
Instagram, Madelyn Moon, M-A-D-E-L-Y-N, and Facebook, Mind Body Musings. No, I'm sorry, Maddy Moon.
Okay,
I changed that. Facebook is Maddy Moon. Everything I'm different. Snapchat, Mind Body Musings, even though I don't really use that anymore. Okay. Twitter, Mind Body Musings. Mostly Instagram. That's the best place to find me, Madelyn Moon.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. It was so great to have you on here, and I'll just give a quick shout out to my business. So if anyone would like to take a look at my website, it's www.thedancingcurtain.com. You can find me on Twitter at Dancing Curtain. You can find me on Facebook at The Dancing Curtain. So that's www.facebook.com/The Dancing Curtain. And Twitter, I'm Khristee Rich. Oh, I'm sorry, Instagram, I'm Khristee Rich. And also I have a new blog that's coming out, or just came out. It's on about my chronic illness that I had for 15 years and how I overcame it in 1 month. And similar to what Madelyn's been talking about, it was really what I think was the biggest contributor was having a positive mindset and really believing that I could be well. Because for the longest time, when you're especially in a chronic illness, sometimes you lose the light at the end of the tunnel. So I believed that I could be well in 1 month, and I set clear goals, and at the end of the month I overcame it. So it is possible, and I just want to encourage people to meditate and to believe in yourself and to believe that your life can improve at any moment and you can live a life beyond your wildest dreams. So thank you so much again, Madelyn, for being here, and best of luck in Colorado. I hope you have a nice transition there, and thanks again for everybody joining us today on my video series. I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel and continue to watch the rest of the interviews. I am interviewing amazing women all over the world, and I would love to share their inspirational stories with you. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.